Yo, what's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Mac, the mad scientist.
And Vivo the Vibe.
Yo, welcome to Nerd Talk, man. Shout out to Boogie Blends in his absence. His wife's birthday is today. So shout out to the wife out there. I know she's out
Happy
here
birthday.
And empty your husband's pockets. Like, spend that cheddar. Go ahead, do what you got to do. You already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. When you hit that like button and continue to hit that like button, that spread this video out to the ether for like-minded individuals like yourself. Vivo, how are you today? How was your week?
Oh, it was really busy so far. Past weekend ref to meet. Got some chair time as head ref, so that was awesome. There was some heavy ass deadlifts. It's great. What else did I do? Then I drove an hour, really technically 2 hours, the opposite direction to go camping with the family. Glamping, really.
Okay.
What else did I do? I just got back from the gym, doing some squats. I almost biffed it on my top set.
Yeah.
I think I messed my toe up. I'm pretty sure I did because it feels really weird. But it's fine. I got the rep. That's all that matters. Sent my, recorded video along. And then after this, I'm going to take a shower and wash my hair because I smell like soggy Doritos.
I don't even know how that smells.
You don't want to know how that smells.
I don't even know how that smells.
Japanese cherry blossom. Here we go.
Look, my thing is, so my guess was, you said after the show, my thought process was like, go find some food. Because it's always food. Like, it's always food. But this time, I am pleasantly surprised by that. So,
I'm going to do that too.
And for me, it been a pretty busy week. Shout out to Stinglikeabea. You guys can follow her on TikTok. She has a true crime podcast. And I had her on the show yesterday. Now, that interview will air on Monday at noon. It will premiere on Monday at noon. But if you are a Patreon subscriber and if you're a part of the high tier, the $15 tier, you already have access to that interview. So you are able to watch all of that interview in full splendor. But yes, that interview will be released on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. One thing about Sting is that she is currently working on Chicago Fire. And she was working on Chicago Fire from the beginning, season 1, when it was a pilot, all the way up to now. She's done work on Melrose Place, Chicago Justice, and she actually has some fun stories. Her sister, and her mom are all in the industry in some shape or form. Like, her sister does wardrobe, like she dressed Forrest Whitaker before, and so on and so forth. So, and she had an interesting dinner with the actor from The Matrix as well. So,
Cool.
yeah. So shout out to her. And this is not the last time she's actually going to be on the show either, because she is a film geek. Now, Vivo, I'm telling you, she has over 600 plus DVDs and
That's
Blu-rays.
so many.
That is a lot. But I will say this though. She even have DVDs that are out of print. And I think in this day and age, especially the way we live in, like, we're in the streaming world right now, and sometimes certain episodes, certain series, certain movies lose their license, and then you can't find that movie anywhere. So I think having those amount of DVDs, because she put me to shame. Like, I don't even have anything remotely close to that. So now, oftentimes I'm gonna go to Second and Charles and just like find DVDs and just buy them, because I need those just in case they just go out of print, because Meteor Man is out of print. And
You said Meteor Man? Really?
Out of print. It is out of print. It is out of print.
No.
Without you even looking at your phone, can you guess how much Meteor Man is on Amazon DVD?
It's probably gonna be like $50 or something stupid.
Try 200.
Nuh-uh.
Try 200. Try $200. I guarantee it. Because that, and honestly, that is the only one that's
Wait,
available
I
on
found
Amazon.
one for $64.
Is it on eBay?
No, it's on Amazon.
Wait now.
Form, format DVD.
Is it like a double feature type thing?
It just says one disc for. Oh snap!
Laser
Wait,
disc, right?
it's
Ooh.
used. It's in used condition, but then the brand new copy is $150.
So the
Whoa,
yeah, it's out of print. Trust me, I looked. I went to the record store. I went.
that's crazy.
That is wild because I went to the record store to look for it. That's how I found out it was out of print. Then I went to Second and Charles. They did have it at Second and Charles, but someone actually bought it. Like someone bought it like prior. So I went on eBay and I bought it. So
I
it should
used
be
to
here
like
like tomorrow.
that. Used to be like my whenever I would go to the video store, it was either Last Action Hero or Meteor Man.
Ooh, you know what? I should have looked for that yesterday when I was at Second and Charles. I should have went for Last Action Hero because yeah, I was looking for the Phantom with Billy Zane. I was
Oh,
looking
that one.
for
Yep, that one too. That yep.
yeah. Dang, I should have got Congo too. I feel like Congo should have been around. I
You
would
know
have gotten
what?
it.
They haven't played that. They haven't put that on any type of. It hasn't been on Cinemax or HBO.
Mm-mm.
They used to play that all the time.
Yeah, it is not any. I mean, you can actually
Wait,
the movies I just mentioned. You can find those. Meteor Man, not so much. Not on
I
streaming.
found it for $15.
Where Amazon?
It's this uh DVD Planet store. Is it over? Where is this? I'll send you the link.
Yeah, see, I already bought it now, so it's on the it's on the way. It's on the
Wait, let me
way.
see how much. Add to cart.
Yeah, it is on the way for me.
Now I'm gonna have to start collecting DVDs.
Oh, see, they went down on the price. Okay, they went down on the price because yesterday it was 200. For the past few days, it was 200, and then now it dropped down to 196. And you're right, like there's a VHS for $93, and I don't know what that is. It's $64. So I would say about between 40 and 50 something bucks. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to go back downstairs and look at our because we have hella VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm. You might want to keep those or resell them because they might be worth something, you know?
We have like the original Disney VHS tapes. Like,
You're talking like in the book?
yeah, I remember like the thick little cover that it was like that plastic, but it kind of was like a book. Yeah, we have those.
Oh, snap. You
I
got
don't think we have.
OGs.
Yep.
Wow, you got OGs. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. So that show comes out on Monday at 12 noon. So be on the lookout for that. Now we got a jam-packed show for you guys today. We were on assignment. We were fit to watch Moonrise that's on Netflix, which is a Netflix anime original. And we got some choice words. Also, we're gonna be talking about the Superman trailer that were released, and also the Ironheart trailer, which I got some choice words about that. But let's get into some Moonrise. Like let's talk about the animation first. Like, how did you like the animation?
Oh, the animation was top tier.
Yeah,
It was great. I think
the
they had some
vibes,
CGI in there, but it worked.
it did. It definitely had some CGI in there, but I think the way they actually put it out there, the animation seems very fluid. Like it felt like it gave off some 90s vibes just a little bit. Just by how smooth the animation was. And I can tell that Netflix put out a budget for this thing. Like I know they did. They didn't do it half-assed. And the studio is Wit Studio, and it was licensed by Netflix. But I got no complaints about the actual animation. Now, what about like the characters? How you feel about the characters of this?
My favorite characters. I didn't care about any other characters really.
Any of them?
No.
Oh,
outside of these, Salamandra.
I'm right here. Muscle mommy.
Yes. Listen, her, Duan, and Asma, hands ready to E for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Salamander. Like she
Yep.
is my favorite character in this. And I was like, and it's honestly was very refreshing to actually see that there was a darker skinned character and female that because I was very like watching it for the first time, I was afraid that she might not make it throughout the whole series.
Oh yeah, I was like, if she doesn't, I'm turning this off.
Right. I was ready for it. I was ready. Like when Reese had had the gun pointed right at her forehead and she was about to fire off, I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And then it didn't happen. She actually survived the whole thing. And I really do like her character. Um and she like that scene where she was taking out the special ops,
That was
like going
great.
up and down. Yeah, like that was like some top tier animation right there.
I was like, her kick. Oh my goodness, I think he's dead.
In
like,
heels. In
right,
heels.
right.
Like no losing no balance, anything like that. Now, what about Jack? How do you feel about Jack as a character? Oh man, what is that look like? How do you? Come on now.
I didn't have any. Like he just. Eh.
Okay.
I liked Phil more than him. I liked Phil way more than him.
Phil, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. When Jack was first introduced in like the first episode, he definitely had like the Playboy vibes. And I was like, okay, that definitely some character there. And you know, man, I won't say a womanizer, but he loves women. But you know, it's about the looks he has, but also the the interactions he have with Reese. But
Yeah, I was
with
trying to figure out that dynamic. I'm like, so is she like his manager? Like what? Like I understand they grew up together,
yeah,
but when they were adults, who was she to him to like be like she essentially it felt like she was his personal assistant almost. Like I need to get you here, you need to be here, you need to do this. Like
yeah.
um also Reese exceedingly annoyed me towards the end of this series.
Did she?
Yes.
Yeah. So I understand her reasoning, like when it comes to certain things, because I'm like, all right, you know, she's very rigid as a character. When she was first introduced, like she's very organized. Jack is not, and I think Jack's foster parents hired her to be the person to keep him in line, like to make sure he gets to point A to point B, and if you don't do this, you got to answer to Reese. Because in some ways, he's scared of Reese or have a high level of respect for her up until a certain point.
Mhm.
Like when he was supposed to speak, he was out here gambling, rolling dice until she pulled up, and then everything just stopped. But yeah, Reese is a rigid character. It was confusing to me at the end of it where you know the brain took over and she was forced to shoot Mary. But like I felt like, you know what? This felt like Akira in a way. In a way, it felt like Akira. I do feel like it pulled from certain things, but Reese wasn't my favorite character. So they were lovers though. I will say that. They do love each other. It just never blossomed into something. They just always teased it.
Mhm.
And I
It
thought,
was also interesting how she just like after he left the team, how she just did like this. It was like a 180, like a coin flip, like her personality. She was so cold, like she was cold with it, but I was like, I don't know.
she was cold and calculated, but I think she was trying to tell herself, I'm going to accomplish this mission. I'm doing what I'm ordered to do. But when it's time to actually do what she needed to do, it like her conscience just took over. Like, I can't do this. Like something about this isn't right.
Sapienta was like, we accounted for this.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Right?
This was basically evil AI and conscious humans trying to rebel against it.
Yeah.
That's the basic premise. And what I guess, like, we didn't really get any. Okay, so leading up until what was it, like episode 15 or 16, where
The
Phil
turning point.
actually gave an explanation. I mean, that was like what, 2 to 3 episodes from the end. And so I'm like, you've given us these clues, like from the beginning, maybe 2 or 3 episodes, you're like, he's probably not human.
Yeah.
And then he like continues through like 10 more episodes, and
Yeah.
you're like, can we get some additional clarification? What is going on? And it wasn't
I
until you get to Phil and he actually explains, or confirms, I should say.
yeah.
And still his explanation wasn't like, I still don't get, like, okay, so he's seed what, number 1? He's seed 1,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm talking about Jack or Jacob,
Yeah.
and he evolves or adapts based on coming into contact with other seeds. But then we don't necessarily see how he actually evolves, other than we see his influence on the seeds around him.
Yeah.
It just, that I was like, this is what?
Yeah. I felt like, listen, that explanation, I felt like it was being confusing just for the sake of being confusing, like, or try to be complicated for the sake of being complicated. Because you got us by the animation, right? You sort of kind of got us with the story. You could have just kept going straight forward with the story instead of just trying to like complicate things, because it went from, because I didn't know who to side with initially. At first, okay, I'm siding with the people on Earth because I'm looking at this attack that happened. This man lost his parents or foster parents or whatever. Then you find out later they were the one that attacked first. They just got their comeuppance. And that when Phil tells you, like, oh yeah, by the way, you seed 1, I'm seed 2, and you got a fail safe. So guess why the elevator collapsed, my boy?
Every,
you know,
everything was the AI's fault. It was all the AI. The AI was the one who attacked.
yeah. I'm like, what? They had to
I was
wrap this
like,
thing up in 18
that
episodes,
kind
which
of
is an odd
tracks.
number.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I was looking at like getting the 18, and I was like, well, maybe they're gonna release another one. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was like, no, final. I was like, oh, okay, but I wasn't necessarily a fan. It was like the story was basically kind of convoluted. It was
Mm-hmm.
convoluted, and I didn't like that. For as much as you're spending on the animation, you should at least take the time to make sure that it's like a good, solid story that goes along with it. I would also say, I mean, the ending was, I was pissed off at the ending.
Oh, you're talking
I
about with
was like,
Phil?
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Spoiler
well,
alert. Yeah.
at least he went out like a G, but
He stood on business. He did stand on business. He's like, listen. But that what's confusing though is that monologue he was doing. He was like, well, when you see me again, hopefully you're gonna accept me as a brother. Like, call me brother, right? So that kind of like giving the vibe like, you know, once I come back from this jail time or whatever, we can be straight. But the minute that you show up,
I didn't understand. I didn't understand that entire sequence. I was like, why are you arresting him? He had nothing to do. It was Sapienta who blew everybody up.
yeah,
He
yeah,
literally had no. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. So what is this? And then and apparently him and Jacob made this, like, you know, this promise that he was going to turn himself in. I was like, if he turns himself in, he's going to be in the exact same situation you were in when you were suspected of being colluding with the terrorists, and they're probably going to execute him. You're never going to see him again.
yeah.
But he also didn't do anything. he just assumed the identity of Bob or whatever.
Yeah, the Moon
Not
King.
because he wanted to, but because it was put on him. But he had nothing to do with the actual blowing up of the elevator that killed everybody. Like, it was all Sapienta.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
guess, I mean, in grand scheme of things, though, he intended to be arrested because that fit into his plan where he would get actual direct access to Sapienta so he could, like, destroy it. But still, I was just like,
You could have
I
just done
liked
a
Phil.
mission and just
I
destroyed
didn't
it.
want him to die. I liked Phil. Like, in addition to my 3 favorite characters, I liked Phil.
Yeah, that confused me too. Now, if you want to get in like the weeds of it, like, you know, semantics, I mean, he was responsible for holding Reese prisoner, right? And they were enemies
She
at a
let
certain point.
herself. She let
But yeah, she
herself
let
get
herself get to that point. And then when you turn the robots on, you know, siding with the Earthers or whatever the case may be, you know, both sides feel like, okay, something ain't right. Like, we both care about civilians. We both care about collateral damage in that sense. But yeah, Phil did stand on business. I feel like there probably was another alternative just to get to that AI, to get the Sapienta. You could just do a military mission and just like find Sapienta and just blow this thing up, because clearly the general couldn't fight for shit. I thought
listen. When he was getting his ass whooped, I was like, so that sword is for show? Like, you're
yeah,
Huh?
that was my feeling.
she was working him up and down, and I was just like, can you get at least 1 lick in? Maybe 2? Nope. Okay.
Right, because that's supposed to be like the big reveal, right? So when he pulled
I was
up to Dr.
so
Salamander,
disappointed.
I was like, okay, cool. And then I see the sword right here. My thought process was, you know, Colonel Bradley. That was my thought process, right? I'm like, oh yeah, he about to
Listen, you can't. Bradley is in a completely different class by himself. Like,
he is. But my first thought though, when I saw that sword right there, I'm like, okay, man, when he pulled this thing out, it's gonna be a wrap.
But the thing too is, so then you also have Mary, who became a core, who then was also called Seed 8, but then they didn't really explain what a core was and what the giant glob thing that was moving around, like, they never really explained the significance of why she was its core or what even it was.
Yeah.
And then you also have all of the, like, Salamandra, you have Wendy, you have Harbinger, you have well, we know Phil already was a seed, but so they obviously have modified bodies. Are they seeds too? Like, and how did they become the way they are? There were so this anime left me with so many more questions. I was like, because when Salamandra, like, broke out her super secret weapons or whatever, I was like, oh, that's so cool. How did she get like that? I want to know.
Yeah, they did one flash of her past, right? Clearly somebody she really cared about passed away. Like, it was like 2 individuals. I think maybe it was a husband and kid murdered, right? And I was like, okay, are you going to expand on that? You could have easily do more than 1 season. If you couldn't compact that into like 1 season, you could easily do 2 seasons and take your time and expand on everyone. Because I think, like you said, Phil and Dr. Salamandra are the most compelling characters to me. And you too. Now, Mary was cool too, because Mary was very caring. And obviously, like, Reese was like semi jealous, because that whole scene where she was like just shirt and no pants, everybody come knocking at the door, it was like, what are you doing?
Was like, I need her in my life. She was just sitting there like,
and she was like,
what?
Like, he just looked at her and looked at him like, no, bro,
and then it was appalled. Like,
like,
that was fun. That was funny. I thought it was funny. There were some funny moments. I liked when Wiz B was making
Mhm.
fun of Jacob. He was talking. You could tell Wiz B was talking all types of cash in his computer code.
Yes. 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 Like harassing Jack, man. He like sticking his tongue out, punching
Yep.
him in the face. He's like, y'all never gonna get along. Like, nah, they
And that's
never.
another thing too. Like, what is Wiz B? Like, isn't he an AI too? How is he independent from Sapienta? I is he a seed? What is
Several plot holes. Several plot holes.
so
I,
many?
I see the inspiration though, because this is like Gundam but without the mech suits, right? This got Akira elements in it. This got Neon Genesis Evangelion elements in it. Like it's some things I just kind of like recognize. I can see several like inspirations for this anime, like Zinger, Zoan, like her being the hacker. I like all the emojis that pop up on the screen. Because I like techies.
She was funny too.
Yeah, very.
So unserious. I liked her. Yeah, I did like her character. She was so unserious.
And the other part of it is that this anime didn't really take itself too seriously, because whenever it got to a serious moment, somebody cracked a joke or there was like a facial expression change or
Yeah.
something. It's almost like, well, we're not going to get too serious with this, but I felt like it should have, because I feel like it would have got us in the moment. And what the fuck was up with it? The ending, like the message, like the friend request from Phil to Jack.
That too. I was like, so did he not die? Did he clone himself? Did he upload his consciousness? I'm confused.
Right, because we saw him get lasered up. He was the first one that got Swiss cheese along with everybody else. I'm like, okay, did he survive that, or what exactly? Now, then again, he did this survive the explosion when he threw Jack in that locker, well, that escape pod or whatever, and everything blew up. But still, yet he's still alive. So maybe he's alive, but we never got our true answers with that. We never got our answers with Reese and Jack, or
Also, why did Jack get his arm cut off in the first place? Did his what happened? They didn't really show that. All we saw was like the arm flying across the screen.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because was it the original Bob? Did he like freak out and cut it off? I'm confused.
I think it was. I think it was depicting that the original Bob cut off his arm because he was like going crazy, because he had his hands in his face and he was like talking to himself. So maybe he just had a violent episode.
Was like trying to hack him.
Yeah. Yeah, so he had like a violent episode. As a matter of fact, it kind of reminds me of it got maybe Appleseed or Ghost in the Shell a little bit. I did like the engraved suits though. I did like the engraved suits.
Yeah, those were cool.
But at the same time, like, you remember when Phil and Jack was on the bike and it was going towards the AI, like trying to go save Mary?
Yeah.
And he just like, okay, pistol, machine gun. Like, bro, I know in episodes prior when you was chasing down Dr. Salamander, you had a sniper rifle. You had a 50 cal. So you mean to tell me you couldn't reimagine a 50 cal just like pink, 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 pink? Like, you could have done that.
That was a sweet 50 cal too.
It was. I'm thinking in my mind is like, you could think of any weapon, because I was very, very curious about the engraved suits because I forgot the big guy's name, but he was the rocket launcher dude. He was like explosive. One, yeah. So I'm like, could you just imagine?
He stayed with that rocket launcher, grenades, whatever. He did. I didn't see him switch to a different weapon. He was straight. He was like, "No, you getting all grenades."
This is your straight primary. I am loyal to this. This is my weapon. There are many others, but this is the one that I like. I'm not going to deviate from that. It gets the job done sometimes, because Dr. Salamander wasn't having that shit. That wasn't it.
You remind me of the what's his face from Terminator?
Oh, Liquidator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, T-1000.
T-1000. Yep.
Yeah, for Terminator 2. Actually, Rise of Machines had a mix between that too. It was like Liquidator and Machine. It was able to melt. I get what you're saying though, but she could only do her arms, right? It was nothing else. But Dr. Salamander could only do her arms. Like T-1000 could do
As
the whole
far
body.
no, I mean as far as we saw,
Yeah.
I would imagine that she could do other parts of her body. She just didn't. So
And York, man, I mean, it seems like Dr. Salamander was kind of sweet on the old boy. Because every time they see each other, she's like, "Oh, you miss me?" And she like did the heart like from like, bro, like she's giving you signals, bro. Like, is this mission that important to
listen,
you?
he better shoot his shot.
He should have. He should have. That could have been me. That could have been me. And I'm like, damn this mission.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me.
But so this is the anime I would not go back and watch over again.
Nope.
It just wasn't.
And people were like, Moonrise is so much better than Devil May Cry. False.
Who said that?
I've heard people say that they thought Moonrise was better than Devil May Cry. I've seen people post about it.
Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
Listen.
Moonrise is better than Devil May Cry. There's no way. Absolutely.
Well, it'd be because you have like the source material loyalists who get pissed off about the slightest deviation. Great example, case in point, Castlevania Nocturne.
Ooh.
I'm a part of a Castlevania fan group on Facebook, and the amount of people, I don't even know if the moderators actually moderate. I think they just created the group and just let people go, because the amount of times that I have seen people complain about the woke agenda, I'm so tired. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. They're like, Annette was white in the original one. Why did they make her black? Like, well, they wanted to make a compelling story. And if I remember correctly, Annette served no purpose other than to be a damsel in distress. Like, she had no bearing on the overall plot. And so in this iteration, this adaptation, they decided to give her an actual, stake in the story.
Yeah.
And I'm just so tired of people, like, are there instances where, we're kind of like, well, why did you make that switch? Was it necessary? Don't understand. Because then you kind of question what their motives are.
Yeah, what the intention was.
But in other instances, it's like, it's a fucking cartoon. Get over it. Just watch it. It was a good story. I enjoyed the first Castlevania more, but it still was a fun watch.
Yeah.
And so it's like people like that who are always like, it's always people like that who are the first ones to shit on something, because it's like not exactly like it was in the game or whatever.
Yeah. And truth be told, like when you play the game, there's no like CGI movies or anything like that, like the 2D ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like still yet. Like this I think because of video game movies like Super Mario Brothers, back in the 90s, not the current one. Street Fighter and Resident, you can even throw Resident Evil in the mix. Like financially, it was a success, but to the fandom, it was trash because Alice is not a character in the game, but all the other people that's in the movie are secondary characters where they should be primary characters. I have a gripe with that too, but even though Resident Evil 2 is like my favorite one out of that series, out of the whole thing, but maybe because Jill Valentine is in it, but Castlevania though, man, I mean, like the level of success that Castlevania has gotten, and Nocturne, right? So Nocturne, I didn't like as much as the first iteration of Castlevania when it was just Trevor. But that next season though, I was locked in. Like I was locked in. Hands rated E for everybody. There was whips, magic, hands. That's all it was. And the animation was just top tier. I got no complaints whatsoever. Like, and it's only like maybe I can't say it's like millions of Castlevania players out there. People play Castlevania, but they don't play it every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if it's out there, it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Devil May Cry, way better than the original anime that came out like some years ago. Because that original anime, that one was trash. But this was on Netflix. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. So, but nah, this Moonrise is not something I will go back and like watch.
It's like a one and done. Like I've seen it. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah,
I'm gonna go back to my Apothecary Diaries and Windbreaker.
Oh, now speaking of which, I did watch the first episode of Apothecary Diaries last night because I needed to cleanse my palate because I was really binging Moonrise, right? And I'm like, I want to watch something else. And so I thought about you, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. She recommended Apothecary Diaries. So I did watch the first episode, and it was semi-hilarious, especially when she was trying to hurt us. Well, she wasn't hurting herself, but she was like...
She was experimenting.
Yeah. Like, I can't experiment on anybody else. Might as well do it myself. So, and how she got kidnapped, and she's like, well, hope dad don't get worried. And the way she was so lackadaisical about that, like, yeah, I'm being kidnapped, but hopefully dad is all right. You know. Oh, I work.
Listen,
you know what just happened?
It's definitely it's a good series. It's a really good series. I don't even know why I picked it up. I think it was one of those like I'm looking for something. Oh, this looks kind of interesting, and I just turned it on, and then I ended up binging it.
Yeah.
So I think they're on the second season. So I think there's 40 episodes in total between the two.
Wow. So I know it's like 24
maybe
on Netflix. It's only got the first season there. So right now I got to get through those 24 episodes to keep it pushing, but to go with that. But next thing is we got to talk about the Superman trailer. Like what was your thoughts on the Superman trailer that was released?
Oh, I'm excited for the Superman. I mean, I need to get out of my head in terms of comparing him to Henry Cavill because anyways,
Wait, hold on. You're in your flesh again.
Yep. Listen, when he plays a character, he plays the hell out of the character.
So you're going to watch Warhammer?
I absolutely. Haven't gotten into Warhammer yet, but I will most likely get into it after I see him in it. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to see who's playing. Is it Nicholas Hoult who's playing Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm excited to see his take on Lex Luthor and just how much of a hater he can pull from his being to be Lex Luthor. It looks really good. I'm excited to see was it Nate Fillion as Guy Gardner. I'm excited to see is that Mr. Fantastic? Who is that? Are
you talking about Bradley Cooper or Frank Grillo? Is Rick Flag Sr.? Which is crazy because Rick Flag Sr. is in Creature Commandos. It's supposed to be like a time.
I still have to watch that. All of the clips I've seen of Creature Commandos are great, and I just need to sit down and watch it. It's on Prime, right? Okay. But
Max. It's on HBO Max.
Okay. But regardless, I'm excited to see James Gunn take.
Yeah.
Really excited. It looks like it looks like it's gonna be outside of the Batman franchise, it looks like it's gonna be a very, very good movie for DC.
I think and Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner.
Mhm.
I think he's going to do a good Guy Gardner. I think they try to stay as much close to the comics as they possibly could because of like the bowl cut hair that Guy has like in the comics, and I do like Eddie Gathegi as Mr.
Yes,
Terrific. So
I said Mr. Fantastic. I meant Mr. Terrific. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. So he I think he's going to be phenomenal there. Obviously Sean Gunn is there. Sean Gunn is going to be Maxwell Lord. Bradley Cooper is Jor-El. So it's going to be interesting with this trailer because now I'm more invested into the Superman movie now, looking at this full trailer because when the teaser came out, a lot of people was critiquing the David Corenswet being Superman, Clark Kent, or whatever the case would be, because a lot of people are used to Henry Cavill because he has the build of being that Superman. But I think a better story is going to be told, considering the fact that James Gunn is like burying himself in like DC comics and Superman comics, and he's pulling from this, that, and the third. You even got Crypto, the dog. So, and the Fortress of Solitude and the old school music and all that other stuff. So, I think it's going to be a superheroes movie for a superhero's sake. And on top of all that, the fact that they depicted the fact that he ended a war, but people are mad about it because you are representative of the United States. Like, no, I'm not. I'm a representative of me. Like, I'm Superman. Like, I entered the war. I saved lives. Like, people was going to die. Like, would you rather them fight? Like, would you rather them do what they're going to do, or you rather me to step in and stop that?
Listen, where we are currently as a society.
Yeah, right.
We always there's always has to be something to be mad about. Oh, you saved lives. We didn't want you to save lives.
Yeah, we want people to blow each other up. That's what we're gonna do.
Basically, explosions.
And that one little part where a civilian actually pulls Superman up, like give him his hand to pull him up. So obviously, I think the premise of this movie will be hope, because Superman is supposed to be the beacon of hope. I'm not really the biggest Superman fan because as a character, if his skill set, his abilities is not like super appealing to me. Because like, when are you going to be vulnerable outside of kryptonite? It's kind of like, it's kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Bland in a way, but there's been some phenomenal stories though, because there were some comics that I did cover like a few months ago actually, where Lois got superpowers basically because something Amanda Waller did, and now Lois is Superwoman, and Clark is actually training her how to be Superwoman, and like how to do this and how to do that, how to fly properly, how to do but she's a quick learner, obviously. And it seems like she's already ingratiated the fact that, hey, I am Superwoman. And also adds another layer to their relationship, too. Because, you ain't the only one with superpowers here. As long as I'm here, our physiology is the same. So we'll see what happens. The next thing is Ironheart. Ironheart's trailer, man. How did you feel about the Ironheart trailer?
I'm excited for that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a series. Yeah, it's a series.
Yeah, I think it's like 6 episodes, I think.
I kind of... I don't know how I feel about the supposed antagonist, or the hint that they're giving us at the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, why you always have to be on some like hood, undercover, illegal? Like, can we get a villain like Obadiah or whatever the hell his name was on some corporate intrigue or something? Yeah. But you know what? I'll give it a shot.
So here's the thing, though. I got a bone to pick with Marvel, more or less Disney. The reason that they put out this trailer, and nobody can tell me otherwise, is because the blurred community in totality has been complaining about why you didn't give us an Ironheart trailer. What is taking you so freaking long, knowing full well that this series is coming out next month? Where's the ads? Where's the marketing? Where the public relations? Where's all of that? All that energy that you give to other Marvel series, you're not giving that same energy here to Ironheart. So we knew as the blur community, like, okay, like this some bullshit because
They're
this is a
probably
black character, you know what I mean? Black led character. And now today it was like, hey, here's this trailer. Now shut up. Because we were speculating that they was going to release the trailer on Juneteenth. That's what we thought. Because like, oh, y'all gonna do some fuck shit. Y'all gonna say on Juneteenth, hey, June 24th, we're gonna have Ironheart. Like, she was in Black Panther too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we ain't gonna get no teasers or nothing. Like, and then look at how they marketed Daredevil, Born Again, or look at how they advertised Hawkeye.
But also remember, again, where we are currently at in society, when everything that is not anything having to do with featuring POCs apparently falls into the DEI category, and they're afraid of angering our overlords in Washington, and somehow that's gonna mess with their bag at the end of the day. So that's probably why they took as long as they did to release it, because they didn't want to potentially attract heat from Washington.
And they can't do anything. That's the thing. They cannot do anything to this. Like, I don't know what, because it's already wrapped. Like the series was wrapped like last year or something like that. Like they already wrapped this thing up. They're just waiting on releasing this thing. And it's a conclusion of phase 5. And Riri is a pivotal part in this because she's Iron Man. You know what I mean? Well, Ironheart, rather. And in the comics, there's like an AI that looks like Tony Stark that like talks to her and stuff like that. So I'm curious if they actually will go that route with her. But I think when they had her in Wakanda Forever, obviously it wasn't a one-off. Obviously, going to get this series. We're going to see her in Avengers Doomsday. We're going to see her in Secret Wars. And honestly, she's around the same age group as the new Hawkeye. She's like, she could be part of the new Avengers, which I feel like that's probably what that's going to end up being like later on down the line. But yeah, like Ryan Coogler is like one of the executive producers. He just did Sinners, and you should have had his ass do Blade. Keep it a bean. Now Blade is like, it's out there in the ether, man. Like we don't even know we're gonna get it. I doubt we're gonna get it because so many changes that was made to it. But Ryan Coogler would be perfect for it. I'm even hearing rumors, and nothing confirmed yet, but I'm hearing rumors that he's been looked at to be the head guy for X-Men. And I was like, I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
So he will probably take Stan Lee's original like basis for creating the X-Men, and then people would still be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let them be mad. Look, as long as that money is flowing, it don't matter. And I do feel like that people should go support this series and like support it in droves. I mean, like record numbers, like make them to the fact that they cannot ignore this. Like they cannot say, you know what, the first season's cool, we're done. That kind of thing. But there won't be any more Moon Knight. And Moon Knight was really good. I think they got the Echo treatment because Echo Echo got that last minute marketing too, and then it is
Mhm.
what it is. Like some people had like 45 days, 50 days in advance of marketing, a couple months prior, and then it is what it is. But we'll see. But yeah, man. So next week we will be back on Nerd Talk. We got a lot of things to talk about next week, man. Especially the disappearance, possibly of physical copies of video games. What happened?
What about
Yes, yeah. Because Nintendo, like, I think that's the console is going to have the last of the physical copies. Speculation, but I mean,
and their new user agreement?
yo, Nintendo is on some bullshit. I have not turned on my Switch yet, like at all. Okay, for the record, my Switch is not hacked, but if I see a user agreement come across my screen, I'm gonna ignore that bitch. I'm gonna ignore that bitch. I didn't read this. I didn't sign this. I'm sorry. Yeah, the user agreement fine print says, because like who reads user agreements, right? Who reads that?
We too busy trying to get to the title screen so we can play.
Exactly.
I be clicking through mine so fast, like, and I'm supposed to. I know I am supposed to read.
Yeah.
These agreements, but
yeah. So if you guys been hiding under a rock, basically, if you accept this new user agreement, if you think it upon yourself to hack your Nintendo Switch, that means like put old school games on it. You can play whatever you want. They reserve the right to brick your shit. Anything. They will brick.
You will have to basically buy a whole new device.
Yeah.
So it can be expensive. My thing is, like, how are they gonna are they gonna be running checks? Like, how are they gonna
have no clue?
Would you just not ever have to like connect to Wi-Fi? Like, I wonder how they're gonna do that, how they're gonna police that.
I have no clue about that, because I also feel like so what they're doing with Pal World, like they are bullying Pal World, right? Like you can't even fly anymore in that game. Like, you know how miserable you gotta be or how petty you gotta be to prohibit flying in a game because Nintendo is breathing down my neck about this. It's like, if you're so salty about it, why you didn't create a Pokemon game like this? What was stopping you from making a Pokemon game like this? Nothing was stopping you. I think part of it will hurt their sales, because nobody likes to bully, right? First of all, the Nintendo Switch 2 is like $450 to $500, right? And my argument was, they're still going to buy a Switch because everybody want to play Mario Kart. But if you know about these business practices that they're doing, they're
going to be, I think we were messaging about it before, but there are going to be people out there that take real issue with this, and they're going to hack them just out of spite.
Yeah. I'm going to do it anyway. That's the mentality. I'm going to do it anyway. And then your shit get bricked. How you going to test on waters, and then you can't play anything now. And define brick, though. Like, it's like you just can't connect to the internet anymore, or? But
Didn't they say they were like, your device will be inoperable, like.
And I feel like the only way you could actually,
that's what I thought.
They probably could put fail safes inside the system, so if it catch any indication of a jailbreak, it will automatically lock up. That probably could be what's going on. But all it takes is somebody on Reddit, YouTube, anonymous. Here's how you can bypass.
They'll come up with a workaround.
Look, man, I learned.
And then Nintendo will be punching the air.
Yep. And I learned in cybersecurity, like, everything is unhackable until it's not. And it's like, But Nintendo is like they got this stuff lock and key, and I think they just I, I understand it, but then I don't understand it because they have certain assets. They have Pokemon, nobody else does. They got Zelda, nobody else does, and they're protecting their investments as much as they can because graphically, you're not going to compete with PlayStation or Xbox or PC. You know what I'm saying? Unless you go up to that route, then that makes your Switch even more expensive now because I think the new Switch 2 is on the same level of an Xbox One.
S.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes. Yeah, or it's the Xbox Series.
Series S. Yeah, price wise. Yeah, I
No,
think
graphic wise, graphically.
yeah.
Yeah. So not like PS4, like Xbox, that generation, like it's up
Oh
to
yeah,
that
yeah,
level.
yeah.
So um only time will tell, man. But yeah, that is our show for today, man. We will be back next week. You got anything else for the listeners out there?
No, remember to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in next week for some more nerd talk.
That's right. And in Boogie's words, wash your ass.
I'm gonna do that.